This is your prime-time forecast for East Alabama and West Georgia from Dr. Don's Weather. Dr. Don's Weather is made possible by the Randolph County Commission, East Alabama Waste, Southern Auction Solutions, Genesis Weight Clinic, Jimmy Stevens Construction, Anchor Roofing, the Town of Wadley, Auction 431 South, the Salem Auction House and Bama Diesel Repair. From the Alpha Weather Center, powered by Fincher Fence, Estate Masters, Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery, Southern Union State Community College and the venue at 5 Points Farms, here's Dr. Don.
Howdy-ho, East Alabama and West Georgia. Hope you're outside chopping wood. Getting ready for some cold weather. This is your primetime forecast for Saturday, January 18th, 2025 on Dr. Don's Weather. Brought to you by the fine folks at Estate Masters, Lawn, Land, and Tree Care, 334-744-2616, or you can email Holly at estatemastersllc.com. Full-service landscaping, rock work, and tree service. Check them out on Facebook at Estate Masters Lawn, Land, Tree. Thank you, Estate Masters, for being a partner with us here on Dr. Don's Weather. And of course, Jamie Dukas, get your ducks in a row with Dukas at 256-831-7770. You can check the top of the video on Facebook, bottom of the video on YouTube for links to get in touch with both of these fine folks across East Alabama and West Georgia. All right, let's get into it. Scattered showers continue through the morning hours, though they are in the process of ending. There could be some drizzle still hanging around, and as we go throughout the afternoon, rain will be exiting stage right, headed off into Georgia. We'll stay mostly cloudy this afternoon and into this evening. There could be a flurry or two north of the I-20 corridor as we head toward midnight this evening, but that's wraparound moisture, which typically does not bring us any type of precipitation. And again, it's going to be across the northern part of Alabama and Georgia as well. The main story, and I need for you to listen to what I'm telling you. I know all the talk and the hoopla and the excitement is over the possibility of a little snow. Folks, that is not the story here. The main story will be Sunday as drastically cold air moves into the southeast. Now, we're just not accustomed to this kind of winter weather as far as the temperature is concerned here in the southeastern United States. So you need to take this serious. Temperatures will fall Sunday afternoon into the low 30s by sunset with a brisk northwest wind. The apparent temperature, which is the wind chill factor, will dip into the teens on Sunday night. Long-duration cold Arctic air will grip East Alabama and West Georgia for several days next week, with the coldest air we have seen certainly this year and probably in the last couple of years. Wind chills will be in the single to low teens by Monday morning. Now, that is going to cause major issues as far as freezing pipes are concerned. You got to understand that typically to start having pipes freeze, you need that wind and you need the cold temperatures. We're going to have both. And it needs to be a long duration event, which this is going to be. So if you have exposed pipes today and tomorrow, though tomorrow's not going to be very pleasant, today and tomorrow to get those pipes secured, make sure they're insulated, and if nothing else, make sure they're protected from the wind. That's what causes pipes to burst. You're going to freeze up, and you're going to go several days without water, and then when it starts to thaw, guess what happens? You have busted water pipes. So make sure. Look, if you have a crawl space under your house, if it's open under your house like mine is, make sure you have underpinning. Make sure you put something there to keep the wind off of those exposed pipes. I mean, if it's nothing more than just some plastic from your local hardware store just to get you through the next several days, it could save you a lot of pain and heartache and your bank account. So go get you some Bisqueen and make sure you got those pipes protected. Keep the wind off of them. That's the key. A low-pressure system will track across the Gulf of Mexico on Tuesday. providing moisture, which will create a rare winter storm for places that rarely see frozen precipitation. Though we will see some snow across East Alabama and West Georgia, the better accumulations will be south of the I-85 corridor. How weird does that sound? Generally 1 inch between I-20 and I-85, both Alabama and Georgia, and that encompasses most of our coverage area across East Alabama and West Georgia. Then, and get south of the I-85 corridor, we're talking 2 to 4 inches of snow from I-85 all the way down to Dothan, Alabama. There's something seriously wrong with that. Places like Pascagoula, Mississippi may see 4 inches of snow. Folks, they can step out on their front deck and go deep sea fishing. Big body of water. Beach, and we're talking 4 inches of snow down there. Maybe flurries as far south as Panama City as well. Just craziness right here. North of the I-20 corridor, if you're in North Alabama, North Georgia, we're just looking at flurries. The moisture is going to be way too far south for anybody north of I-20 to pick up any meaningful accumulation. Now, that's our first look at snow accumulation possibilities. Understand it is Saturday morning at the time of this recording. So we have got 3 days until the onset of this winter precipitation. You know how this story goes. The models will change. The forecast will change. Those snow totals will change up and down, and placement will likely change north and south. That's just the way it works. So what I've just told you and what I'm about to show you, do not take this to the bank. It's not etched in stone. There is no guarantee that this is exactly what's going to happen. But if what we know right now verifies, we're looking at about 1 inch of snow across East Alabama and West Georgia. We're talking about Sylacauga. We're talking about Ashland, Lineville. We're talking about Woodland, Wedowee, Roanoke, Wadley. We're talking about Franklin and Carrollton. When you get south of that area, we're looking at maybe 1 inch to 1.5 inches, like places like Alexander City, over toward maybe Lafayette Valley, West Point, Lynette. Down into the Auburn area, we may be getting closer to 2 inches of accumulation. Same thing for our folks over in LaGrange. You may be closer to that 2-inch mark, somewhere between 1 and 2. Then you get south of the I-85 corridor, Auburn, Opelika, down to Beauregard, on down toward Headland, Dothan. We may be looking at 2 to 4 inches of snow. You go back further to the west, the chances are even better. I mean, look at Monroeville, Alabama, 3.4 inches of snow. When's the last time that happened? It's been a minute. Even back over into central Alabama, we're talking about Prattville. You're in that 1 inch category. Montgomery, maybe 1.5 inches. And then as we go back into Mississippi, look down there at Pascagoula, sitting at 4.1 inches of snow. Now, that is on the Gulf Coast. And then maybe the bullseye is just north of New Orleans. This particular model, which is one of the more trusted ones, saying 8.2 inches of snow in some places down there in extreme northeastern Louisiana. Just crazy stuff right here. But look across North Alabama, North Georgia. We're talking flurries. There could be a light dusting, especially up in the higher elevations of northeast Georgia. We could be looking at up to 1 inch. That would be up there in Blairsville, back over toward Hiawassee. Down in White County and Lumpkin County, places like Dahlonega, Helen, Cleveland, we're probably a dusting at the absolute best, maybe up to 1/2 inch. This will not be a meaningful accumulating snow for North Georgia, but understand with the bitter temperatures we're going to have in place, any accumulation at all could potentially cause travel issues out there, so it won't take much. From Atlanta north, if you only get a dusting to a half inch, maybe 1 inch, there could be some slick spots on roads and bridges for sure, and there could be other travel problems. So we're going to have to kind of watch this real close. But again, I don't want you guys to focus too much on how much snow we're talking about here. I'm afraid that is overshadowing the dangers that come along with the cold, bitter air we're about to experience. You got to be prepared for that. Couple of other graphics I want to show you. Here is the snow sleet risk for Tuesday night. And you can see it's a limited risk from I-20 down to about the I-85 corridor. Then we have an elevated risk for places like Clanton, Alexander City, maybe all the way over to around extreme northeastern Chambers. And then down around the Auburn, Montgomery, and south, we're looking at significant impacts. Now, these are impact statements here. This has nothing to do with snowfall accumulation, just showing you where the greatest impacts will be from any winter precipitation that we may receive. So let's take a look at your current conditions across East Alabama and West Georgia at this hour. And maybe we can get the slide to change for us. And here we go. There we go. Oh, before I do this, let me tell you that the Wedowee Senior Center, located at 24 North Main Street on the lower level in Wedowee, will be open Sunday evening as a warming station and will stay open as long as there is a need through next week's cold weather. So make note of that. If you need a place to go to get warm, if you don't have adequate heat, the Wedowee Senior Center in Wedowee, Alabama, 24 North Main Street, on the lower level, is going to be the place to go. They will open their doors Sunday afternoon and remain there as long as necessary. And if other locations are going to do the same thing, please send me a message on Messenger so that I can get that information out there to all of our followers here on Dr. Don's Weather. So we have a current temperature of 35 degrees at the venue at 5 Points Farms. Wind is calm at the moment, but occasionally gusting out of the west-southwest at 2. Humidity 73%. The barometric pressure 30.21. Dew point 28. We did pick up. That's not right. That just is not correct right there, folks. If it was 35 degrees, then we would most likely be having some frozen precipitation out there. Let me get that slide current for you, and let's try this again. How about 46 degrees? That sounds more like it. At the venue at 5 Points Farms, wind out of the south-southeast gusting to 4 occasionally. Humidity is 98%. The barometric pressure 29.89. Dew point 46. We have had 0.85 inches of rain in this shower activity that's moved across the area, so that's a little better than 3/4 of an inch of rain. High temperature yesterday was 60.4. We do currently have cloudy skies. Sunrise this morning was at 6:45, and the sun sets this evening at 5:01 p.m. So we are expecting to have a mostly cloudy remainder of your day. Rain is in the process of ending across East Alabama and West Georgia. We'll make it to 58 in Roanoke, 56 in Carrollton. LaGrange will top out at 59, and Dadeville will hit 61 degrees this afternoon. Well, here's what everybody's been waiting on. This is the 6-day forecast from the Alpha Weather Center. Jamie Dukas, your local Alpha agent. So morning rain giving way to afternoon clouds. That 80% has already dropped drastically. And we'll hang on to about a 30% chance of a passing shower this afternoon into this evening. We'll make it down to 35 tonight. North of the I-20 corridor, there could be a flurry or two after midnight. Then as we get into Sunday, here's where the weather goes downhill. Winds are going to pick up out of the northwest. Cold front's going to sweep through Alabama and Georgia. We'll stay mostly cloudy on your Sunday. We'll get that northwest wind kicking up there to around 20, maybe even 25 miles per hour at times. And that 44 that you see will be achieved around noon tomorrow. It starts to fall as we go into the afternoon, and by the time we approach sunset tomorrow afternoon, we'll be at or below freezing with a apparent wind temperature, which is the wind chill factor, most likely in the teens by the time the sun goes down tomorrow. And then look at the overnight low for Sunday night, 17 degrees. Monday, mostly sunny, but we're talking dangerously cold. We're talking 32 degrees for your high temperature on Monday. Wind chill factors remaining in the low teens, perhaps even the upper single digits at times early Monday morning. And then we head for 18 degrees, your overnight low Monday night. On Tuesday, that low pressure system moves across the Gulf of Mexico. We think it's going to take a more southerly track, which is the reason why the moisture, the best moisture, is going to be south of the I-85 corridor. Is there still room for that track to be adjusted? Absolutely there is. I mean, this time tomorrow morning, we could be talking about more snow across East Alabama or West Georgia, or no snow across East Alabama and West Georgia. That's just how this plays out. So understand what we're telling you today most likely will be a different story tomorrow. We've just got to watch those model runs and look at those trends, and we'll make the adjustments along the way. 35 on Tuesday, perhaps some snow across East Alabama and West Georgia. Right now, we're giving you about a 50% chance of up to 1 inch of accumulation across most of the area between I-20 and I-85. South of I-85, accumulations will be more than that. 17, your overnight low on Tuesday night. You just have to laugh, don't you? Then as we get into Wednesday, mostly sunny. If we have a snowpack out there, that 38 may be a little optimistic. We may not get much above 32 if we have an inch or two of snow on the ground. So keep that in mind. Those high temperatures may be overdone a bit. And then on Wednesday night, down to 18 degrees. Thursday, back to sunny skies. And if this model is correct, we go back up into the low 40s. It'll feel like a heat wave, but doesn't last long, only a few hours. Back to 24 degrees on your Thursday night. Southern Union State Community College live Doppler HD radar. You can see the bulk of the rain moving on into Georgia. Few scattered light showers across East Alabama and West Georgia. No big deal out there with the rain this morning. I'll zoom out so you can see the overall big picture. And you'll notice that the heaviest rain at this hour is in middle Georgia, back over toward East Georgia and western South Carolina as it continues to move on off to the east. So lots of things going on, and we're watching this very closely for you. Again, I can't stress this enough. You got to make sure your pipes are protected. Of course, it goes without saying that your pets have got to be protected as well. So spend today taking care and making arrangements for your outdoor pets. They can't stay out in this. Make sure you're protecting your exposed pipes so that you don't lose your water supply. And check on your neighbor and make sure they're taken care of. And understand and remember that the Senior Center in Wedowee will be open Sunday evening and for the duration of this, as long as there is a need, if you need a warm place to go. And again, if your location is going to do that, please send me a message on Messenger. That's the best way to get in touch with me. Typically, I see it almost instantly, and we'll get that information out to the entire area across East Alabama and West Georgia. We are looking at the possibilities of doing some Weather Talk Lives. We'll just kind of continue to monitor the latest data coming from the Weather Service, and if we think that becomes necessary, then we'll go live and we'll talk about it here on Dr. Don's Weather. I've got to go take care of my chickens' water. My chicken coop. Their water froze a couple of days ago and the pipe bursted, so that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to go out there and put some insulation on the pipes and get their water supply back in order, because those jokers would not come out of the coop and go to the pond while there was snow on the ground. And we just lost our snow this morning, and that was because of the rain up here in northeast Georgia. Yeah, it's never a dull moment around this place. Have a fantastic Saturday, And I'll see you back in here first thing tomorrow morning on Dr. Don's Weather.
This has been your primetime forecast for East Alabama and West Georgia. From the Alpha Weather Center, powered by Fincher Fence, Estate Masters, Southern Union State Community College, the venue at 5 Points Farms and Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery. Dr. Don's Weather is supported by the Randolph County Commission, East Alabama Waste, Southern Auction Solutions, Genesis Weight Clinic, Jimmy Stevens Construction, Anchor Roofing, the Town of Wadley, Auction 431 South, the Salem Auction House, and Bama Diesel Repair. Be sure to like us on Facebook, share us with all of your friends, and subscribe to Dr. Don's Weather on YouTube. We will be back tomorrow morning with another edition of your primetime forecast on Dr. Don's Weather.